What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here, and the New York Jets may not be done making changes to the roster before we see the 49ers this year. We are bringing in Kene Nwangwu, a former 2021 fourth-round draft pick of the Minnesota Vikings, still 26 years old, and a former second-team All-Pro to visit on Monday. I'm intrigued by this move. One, if Kene does find a way to talk himself onto this roster. Two, what that actually means for guys like Xavier Gipson and Isaiah Davis and Malachi Corley, who's currently in those 1 through 3 slots, if you will, for return duties. Now, when Kene was released by the Minnesota Vikings, he was claimed by the New Orleans Saints. They recently released him with a failed physical designation, and there's a lot of confusion around this because the Vikings didn't tag him as an injury release. So you're wondering if it was a last minute, something came up before he was picked up by the Saints. Who knows? There's a little bit of confusion there, but nonetheless, if the Jets are looking at him, they probably just want to get their eyes on him and see for themselves what the nature of the issue may be and any cause of concerns there. But nonetheless, I'm really excited for what Kene can bring, even if it is purely as a return specialist. He's had 3 touchdowns and 68 kickoff returns. I mentioned the second team All-Pro accolade, and I've seen a couple articles or so about some ranking lists for the Vikings, and a couple guys already had him as one of the 5 best returners to ever wear a Vikings uniform in just 3 years. So I think the numbers speak for themselves. The performance definitely speaks for itself. Now, the reason for his release, if you're skeptical about this, right, is that he had very minimal offensive usage. He wasn't necessarily the offensive form of a Justin Hardy, but he only saw 14 carries the last couple years. He has been pretty impactful when he's gotten a chance to grace the ball as an RB3 type player. But still, I can understand wanting to get somebody that can bring more from an offensive standpoint, especially considering your whole offense is changing, with Kirk Cousins no longer being there, wanting to give Sam Darnold some help via the rushing component of the team. So makes a ton of sense. He was coming off a very, very strong preseason, though. Only 12 carries, but he did have 8.1 yards per rush or yards per carry. So really excited about some of the untapped potential there. I'd have to see about diving into his film further if he does actually make the roster. But cool, solid last-minute move, right? In terms of what this could be for the roster, it would mean potentially a shift in expectations for Xavier Gipson, where they want to have him be a little bit more offensive focused, meaning as the starting slot receiver, giving him all of the opportunities there and then sprinkling him in the return game. And then for guys like Isaiah Davis and Malachi Corley, it still gives them opportunities to see the field in whatever capacity they can, right? You expect Corley to still go out there and get his touches as a receiver. Isaiah Davis will probably be the most impacted as a guy that maybe gets a quote-unquote, red shirt year, adding a guy like Kene here. But I'm excited for it right now. What does that mean for Izzy? I'm not sure. I know we tried to get him into the return rotation. It didn't seem like it went really well. But he was one of the few guys that really completely did a 180 on his stock over the course of the last couple preseason games. I mean, everything up to training camp before that first preseason game. Izzy was looked down upon by pretty much everybody, coaching staff, fans, etc., etc. So I don't know. Probably unlikely that he makes the roster, but something to keep an eye out for. We know that we like to have an emphasis on special teams under Robert Saleh's guidance. But let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you again. Peace.